What's going on, guys? It's Cole, and welcome to the Season 4 All-Star Game. So today, we, the blue team, are going up against Ali and the red team. So first, let's break down the teams. On Ali's side, we have, representing the Boston Braviaries, Jinx. Representing the Minnesota Nido Kings, we have Terrakion. Representing the Paris Saint-Germain Chicaritas, we have Incineroar. Representing our opponents from last week, the Tokyo Togekiss, we have Melmetal. Representing, us, the Driftveil City Dragapults, they have Naganadel. And representing himself, he has Gigantamax Venusaur. And on our side, representing the Pittsburgh Poltergeists, we have Whimsicott. Representing the Miami Heatran, we have Galarian Moltres. Representing the Denver Ninetales, we have Excadrill. Representing the Reno Weezings, we have Glastrier. Representing the Vero Beach Volcaronas, we have Gigantamax Cinderace, who, on a side note, does not have the Gigantamax factor in this battle. And representing the Charm City Charizards, we have Dragonite. Alright, so as we can see for the items, Whimsicott is holding a Focus Sash, Galarian Moltres is holding a Weakness Policy, Excadrill has the Life Orb, Glacier has the Assault Vest, Cinderace has the Expert Belt, and Dragonite has the Safety Goggles. So, how the rules go is, game number 1, we can bring any 4. Game number 2, we have to bring the 2 that we didn't bring, plus 2 other ones that we already did. And if there is a game 3, it goes back to bringing any 4 that we want, obviously. So I will say we had a couple technical difficulties before recording this, but luckily we were able to get it all done. So let's get into the battle. Alright, so Ali leads off with Incineroar and our Naganadel. By the way, I'm totally not salty about that still. The fact that we should have at least had our team member, because he did. Anyway, we lead off with Whimsicott and Excadrill. Even though I know we outspeed, I want to get up the Tailwind anyway, just to guarantee that we do. And as we see, Naganadel is holding the air balloon, which I immediately forgot it was holding. Because as you see, I go for a Max Quake into Naganadel. And that's going to do nothing. Because I'm a moron. And here comes the Tailwind, doubling our speed. Here comes the Max Quake. That obviously does nothing. So Naganadel will knock Whimsicott down to Sash with the Sludge Bomb. Incineroar will hit Excadrill very hard with Flare Blitz. So as we see, Whimsicott also has Taunt, Moonblast, and Protect. And Excadrill has Rock Slide, Iron Head, and Protect, I think it was. That's when I was making sure that you couldn't see the item, but I remembered that right then that it had the air balloon, so you know. So I go for the Protect on Whimsicott to save it at 1 HP. We go for the Steel Spike into our poor Naganadel, who unfortunately doesn't get to be with his own coach. So we get the defense boost. That was a good protect. And the defense boost doesn't matter because Excadrill goes down to Flare Blitz. And I will say this is the first time that Ali and I have fought each other, because earlier in the season we were supposed to, but that didn't happen. Alright, so we go with Vero Beach's Gigantamax Cinderace with Libero. So Cinderace has Pyro Ball, High Jump Kick, Sucker Punch, and Iron Head. Alright, so we go for the High Jump Kick into Incineroar. And Moonblast, I think, into Naganadel. Yeah, Moonblast into Naganadel. And he switches out Incineroar, so I'm not expecting Terrakion to live this high jump kick. And it doesn't. So that was a good turn because we get the double KO, and then the Incineroar he sends out won't be at full health. So now it's down to Incineroar and whatever his fourth is. Alright, so his fourth is Ryan's Jinx, which means we know that in the next battle, the next game, he will have to bring his Gigantamax Venusaur and Tokyo's Melmetal. Alright, so since Incineroar came out, Cinderace will be sitting at -1 attack, and Whimsicott, not that it matters, is sitting at -2. Alright, so he Gigantamaxes, or Dynamaxes, and it's Incineroar. Okay. I figured, because I didn't think he'd want to Dynamax the Jinx. Incineroar may be slow, but he's reasonably bulky. Alright, so we go for the Protect on Whimsicott. Cinderace will get off a Pyro Ball into Jinx, which leaves Incineroar versus Whimsicott, Cinderace, and Moltres. Oh, nope. Focus Sash. Okay. So the Max Flare will get off into Cinderace. That's why I went with Pyro Ball instead of like Max Darkness or Sucker Punch. So Tailwind peters out, doesn't really matter. We're still faster. So we go for the high jump kick into Incineroar. which will live since we're at -1 attack, and we will take Jinx out with Moonblast. So Cinderace will go down to Incineroar here, leaving Whimsicott and Moltres. So barring any stupidity, we should have game 1 in the bag. So we go for the double attack. We go for the Moonblast into Incineroar from Whimsicott and the Air Slash from Moltres. Hopefully Air Slash doesn't miss, because that would be bad. And game over. Alright, so game 1 is done. I will see you in game 2. Alright, so in game 2, since we didn't bring Glastrier or Dragonite in the first game, we will have to bring them. So we're going to lead off with Whimsicott and Glastrier in case he decides to go for a Trick Room, since he has to bring Melmetal. I'm not expecting Jinx to use Trick Room. I don't even know if Ryan taught it, because Jinx is frail and he doesn't have a redirect. So we are gonna, like I said before, we are going with Whimsicott and Glastrier with Dragonite and Cinderace in the back. So we know he will have to be bringing at least Melmetal and Venusaur. The other two we're not sure about. Alright, so he leads off with Melmetal and his Venusaur. We lead off with Whimsicott and Glastrier. So I'm totally okay with Glastrier going down. No big deal. Sorry to Reno, but without Trick Room, I'm not a fan of Glastrier. It's not great. It's too slow and just doesn't work. And even with Tailwind, since Glastrier is at minimum speed, it would only go up to 62, which is still not fast enough to do anything. So just because I'm going for the Icicle Crash into Venusaur, and he withdraws Venusaur and goes Incineroar. So if we do get the Icicle Crash off, that's going to do nothing. So Glacier will go down to the double iron bash, that's fine. So now we will go with Cinderace. So we go for the Tailwind, and this is when I noticed that Cinderace did not have the Gigantamax factor, but I was kind of okay with that because I, in this case, prefer Max Flare to G-Max Fireball, because at least now I can set up the sun. So we get the Tailwind up, not that it's going to matter, because we really don't need it. So this is going to do less to Naganadel than it would have to Melmetal. But we get the sun up. We pop the air balloon, and Whimsicott will go down to Sash from Flare Blitz. So we go for the Moonblast into Naganadel. And the Max Flare into Naganadel. Alright, so Flare will take Naganadel down, so Moonblast will be going into Incineroar. Which is fine, no big deal. So he gets the Citrus Berry. And Whimsicott will go down to Flare Blitz. That's fine. So now it's Cinderace and Dragonite versus Incineroar, Melmetal, and Venusaur. So here comes the shiny Dragonite. And Dragonite has Dual Wing Beat, Dragon Claw, Aqua Jet, and Thunder Wave. So I go for the Thunder Wave into Incineroar, and the Max Flare into Melmetal. Alright, so he maxes his Melmetal. Okay, so this might not go down to Max Flare. and it definitely does not. Alright, so we get the Thunder Wave off into Incineroar, and it gets fully paralyzed. That was good. So he goes for Max Quake into Cinderace, who survives. So I'm guessing that was probably off of Stomping Tantrum, high horsepower, something like that. So Cinderace is done with its Dynamax. We see that we have one turn of Tailwind left. I don't think that matters because Dragonite should be faster than Incineroar, and it's obviously faster than Melmetal. So Powerball misses. That was a big miss because we really needed that to hit. Because now Cinderace goes down, so it's Dragonite versus 3 of his Pokemon. So it's not looking good. Alright, so we take Melmetal down, but like I said, it's not looking too good. Sun Boosted Flare Blitz comes off. Dragonite can kind of take that. And the sunlight is gone. So, yep, Venusaur is next. So Ali will take game 2. Dragonite can't take them both out. I go for the Thunder Wave into Venusaur as my Hail Mary, trying to get both of them to be possibly fully paralyzed. But it doesn't matter because Sludge Bomb takes us down to 38 and Thunder Wave misses. Incineroar is fully paralyzed, but obviously, so game 2 is Ali's. I'll see you in game 3. Alright, welcome to game 3. So we are going to be taking Whimsicott, Excadrill, Cinderace, and Dragonite. With the leadoff being Whimsicott and Dragonite. So game 1 was ours. Ali took game 2, so it all comes down to this. The final game, no matter wins, no matter who loses, both of our seasons are done. Ali just barely didn't make playoffs due to
having a differential that was just under Tokyo. Tokyo had -10, he had -11, and obviously we lost to Tokyo. So no matter who wins, who loses, both of our seasons are over. So we have nothing to lose no matter what. Alright. So I have to say, this has been a fun battle. It's nice using other people's Pokemon. Considering these are some of their and the league's top Pokemon. So he leads off with Incineroar and Terrakion. Like I said, we lead off with Whimsicott and Dragonite. So the day before this battle, Zach, the coach of City Charizards, asked me to do his boy Dragonite good. So I'm leading off with Dragonite, trying to hold up to my promise. So we go for Tailwind and Aqua Jet. So we get the Tailwind up, Aqua Jet, Incineroar, trying to maximize the damage it takes in recoil. Alright, so Terrakion gets off Rock Slide, knocking us both down to yellow. Dragonite survives. Whimsicott will go down to Flare Blitz. So Ali has the 4-3 advantage. So we go with Excadrill. So luckily Terrakion is damaged by both of our stab moves. So we go for the Max Steel Spike into Terrakion, and we go to Thunder Wave Incineroar again. Poor Incineroar got fully paralyzed like 3 times in the last game. Yep, so we go for the max on Excadrill. And this will be coming out after Ryan posts the podcast with the live reaction to our battle, so I will include the link for this in the description later on, because I have to work. This will be posted after the podcast comes up, but I will post the link to the society in the description, so if you want to watch the podcast, you can just go there. So he maxes Terrakion, and it immediately goes down to Max Steel Spike. Poor Terrakion hasn't really done much this battle. It's gotten no KOs, and it's died twice. At least this time it wasn't an automatic death on switching. Alright, so we get the Thunder Wave off into Incineroar again. And Incineroar deals pretty good damage with Flare Blitz because of, even with the Steel Spike defense boost, and we get burned. So that's not good. Now our attack is halved. So now it's Incineroar, Melmetal, whatever his fourth is, versus Excadrill, Cinderace, and Dragonite. So we get the Aqua Jet off into Incineroar. We Max Quake the Melmetal, which, because of the burn, we do just more than half of its health and damage. So Excadrill will go down to Flare Blitz, but Incineroar will go down to Recoil. Hence why the Aqua Jet. So now it's 2v2. Cinderace and Dragonite versus Melmetal and something else. And obviously we see Melmetal has high horsepower, which doesn't affect Dragonite. So his fourth is his Gigantamax Venusaur, but it's just regular Venusaur because he wasted his max on Terrakion. So we go for the Pyro Ball into Melmetal, and this time I try again to get Thunder Wave off into Venusaur, which failed last time. So Power Ball gets off into Melmetal, Melmetal will go down, so now it's Cinderace and Dragonite versus Venusaur. And I'm surprised Dragonite has survived this long with 42 HP, and unlike last time, we actually get the Thunder Wave off into Venusaur this time. But we don't get the full paralysis, and Cinderace will go down to Earth Power. So now it's Dragonite versus Venusaur. So I really need Dual Wing Beat to hit. If Dual Wing Beat hits, we win the game. And Dual Wing Beat hits, we win. Game over. Dragonite gets the win for the team. So, Zach, like I had messaged you, I did your boy good. He won us the game and the battle. So, good game to the red team. Good game, Ali. And I will see you guys next season. Later.